Hi everybody, Danny, Tameka, Zwelling here with Kayfabe Jiu-Jitsu. We're going to do some Jiu-Jitsu. It's in the name. That was the implied agreement when you clicked on the video that we would see some Jiu-Jitsu. So we're going to do some Jiu-Jitsu. Today we're going to take a look at a technique that I have seen in probably 20 variations. It's got a lot of different ways to sort of accomplish the same thing. It's called the clock choke where I'm from. Sometimes I've also heard it called that lapel choke more than once.
That one thing
that one guy does. So there's a lot of different ways to set it up. There's a lot of different ways to finish. I'm going to show you the way that I like to do because that's the one I've shown. Because that's the one I'm familiar with. Because that's the only one I'm good at. So join me. Clock choke from the turtle. Let's do it. Alright. So we found ourselves here in the turtle mount, or my partner has found herself in turtle guard, depending on your perspective.
What is a turtle guard?
What even is a turtle guard? It's a guard, technically. Alright, so typically when I get to this point, I'm riding right here, 2 hands inside, seatbelt, or my preferred method, 1 inside the leg. I make a fist, and I put it on the floor right next to her leg. I like using this hand here. We used to call it a spiral ride in high school because jiu-jitsu people like to sit a lot, and this will stop them. So if this arm is not here, they sit to guard, which is obnoxious. The fist in the leg, go ahead, stops it. So I typically like to leave that there. Now, it would be great if my partner looked up. That would be perfect. But this doesn't typically happen. Go back down to your turtle. So I'm going to take my hand, and I'm going to start kind of at the back of their ear. And I'm going to run my thumb down their jaw, in front of their neck, and I'm going to try to plunge my thumb into this far collar. I come through, and I grind, and I grab. Deep as I can. Typically, I can't get too terribly deep here. My thumb is right around the side of their neck. And just grab onto it, all 4 fingers on the outside, thumbs on the inside of the collar. If you're having a little trouble with this, you can recruit some help from your other hand to open that lapel up and insert it that way. That's typically going to involve getting a little rougher on this side to get them to make some space with their face. Sometimes I like to try to sneak it in there instead. It's just me. You can be as rude or obnoxious about this crossface as you want, but we want to end up inside this collar. Once I get to here, there's a couple of different things I can do with my other hand. Now, sit up for me, please. The traditional is to reach across and grab this other lapel. Pulling it down and using that to finish. Go back down for me. I find that to be not necessary. I'm just going to use the one hand. I don't really need another hand to make, this is more of a slide choke to me. To do a clock choke, I'm going to either keep my hand in the spiral here, or I'm going to move it up to this wrist. This is my preference, but I can't always have this. Sometimes they're being really conservative and they're kind of keeping everything in here tight, and I can't, so I stay inside the thigh. But if they're kind of based out here, or they're trying to kind of push away, I'll reach under and I'll grab the wrist. So either way. The next step here is I got to get over this arm. I don't want to jump, I want to slide. So I'm going to slide my knee that's inside this elbow to the outside. I'm going to exaggerate. As I slide over this arm, my ribs go to the back of their neck. Now I have to move quick or she's going to pass out. So when I go to finish, I'm going to lean and touch my head to the floor as I pull up on this collar. Like I'm trying to pull my elbow behind me. It's horrifying. It's really awful.
That's great.
So I prefer this over the more traditional here, which is kind of the same thing. I find I can get a better pull if my other hand's not in the way. And I feel like this puts my other hand in the way a little bit. So what I like to do is come here, seatbelt or spiral. I find my collar, or I open it up. Once I get to here, I can grab the wrist, and I shoot my ribs up onto the back of the head. Now I'm gonna let go so I don't hurt her, but I'm gonna come down here and pull.
I think maybe one thing I see a lot when people do this, well, for one, it's getting over that shoulder seems to be a pretty big struggle.
That can be tricky.
Just because it feels a little weird. You'll notice his hips are pointed up the whole time, and I think that really...
So Tameka brings up a really good point about getting over the shoulder. I am using a specific footwork to kind of get my leg over. So if I do it without the grip here so you can see what I'm doing, I post my right leg up a little higher, just a little bit, so that I can push this other thing. It's the same movement as here. It's a sit-up.
Yeah, you're just on somebody
I'm
when
just
you do it.
holding their head.
Yeah.
So I'm here and I sit out.
Yeah.
So you can work in, we'll link our solo drills video, it's in there. But that movement is a good one to have, and it is kind of a tricky part. The other big mistake I see there is people lean back instead of forward, falling off the back.
Yep.
That's not where you park your car. The choke is happening between this hand that's on the lapel and my ribs on the back of the neck. It's not the lapel. I'm not pulling with the lapel like a bow and arrow. I'm using the lapel to hold my wrist in that spot so that I can choke him with my wrist and ribs.
Just anything she can do for attention. It's just
Literally anything. She was eating a marker. That cat is dumb.
Now she's eating something else.
She's eating a workout band. Because we're trapped inside, I've been working out with resistance bands a lot. It's been awesome, but right now my cat is eating one, so I'm gonna stop her. So if you like the clock choke, like and subscribe. I'm gonna go deal with the cat. Thank you guys.
Bye. She found the treats now.